You just have to stop creating those things. Your fear, your anger, all these are products of a mind which you have not taken charge of. Your mind is capable of producing joy, your mind is capable of producing fear, your mind is capable of producing anxiety, turmoil, tranquility, agony, ecstasy, it can produce anything. It is producing things that you do not want simply because you do not know how to handle it. There is no need for anybody to handle their fear, their anger, their whatever, nor is there any need for anybody to seek happiness or peace or joy or blissfulness. There is no need. All you have to do is, you have to spend some time, you have to do certain sadhana to find out where the keyboard is for this fantastic computer that is loaded on your head. You don't know where the keyboard is, so you're punching all the wrong numbers. So all kinds of things are happening. So, either you can make this mind into a miracle, or you can make this mind into a misery manufacturing machine. So the misery in the form of anger, fear, you don't have to do anything about it. You just have to stop the production line, not the product. You just have to stop the production line and start a different product. You must see that joy is coming out of it, bliss is coming out of it, because the same mind is capable of that also. Sometimes you're joyful, sometimes. So it is capable of joy also. So you just have to… Jay is always here. You know the computer? That's where it is. If you do like this, like this, like this, misery, misery, misery. And if you hold one button, misery, 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 misery will multiply. You should know how to keep your hands off the keyboard and just punch what you want. So, there is sadhana to take charge of your body, to take charge of your mind, to take charge of your energies, to take charge of everything that you are. Rather than taking charge of it, you are wishing for a nice product. It will not happen like that. Life has never worked like that. Not for anybody. Never ever has anything worked for anybody by doing all the wrong things. Unless you do the right things do not happen to you at all.
How can you avoid angry?
How can you avoid anger? See, if you're driving in the Coimbatore streets, you have to avoid the medians which are placed in odd places. You have to avoid bad drivers. You have to avoid drunken men crossing the street, children crossing the street, all kinds of things. But when you're driving in Coimbatore street, do you have to avoid the moon? I'm asking, do you have to avoid the moon? No, because the moon is not on the street, isn't it? So similarly, right now are you angry? No? Then why should you avoid it? There's no need to avoid it. It is just that…
Make this one simple change when filling out your FAFSA to cut your EFC and SAI in half so you can pay for your kids' college without taking out loans. I'm Mike Escobar from Yorkshire College Planning. And like you, I'm also a parent, a father of 4. Yorkshire College Planning helps parents cut their EFCs and SAIs in half in as little as 7 days. Parents who are expected to pay a lot of money out of pocket because they're considered a no-need family according to colleges, which makes college, not affordable for their kiddos. Now, If you're a high-income earner or a family with high assets, after filling out the FAFSA and the CSS profile and getting an absurdly high EFC SAI, you're probably thinking that merit scholarships are the only way to go. But you don't have to deplete your retirement savings or take out any unnecessary loans to pay for college. There is a better way. You see, traditional financial aid has 4 key pillars: need-based aid, merit-based aid, private aid, and strategic aid. And most parents aren't sure which applies to them and the exact steps that they need to take, which is why we've done the research for you. We're hosting a live FAFSA and college aid workshop. The workshop is free to join when you click the link below and register. On the workshop, we'll show you how we can help you cut your EFC and SAI in half so that you can pay for your kids.
You think anger is an entity. Anger is not an entity. You become angry. You become angry. Anger is not sitting somewhere and you go hit it. There is no such thing. You become angry. When you become angry, is it pleasant for you or unpleasant for you? Unpleasant for you. Unpleasant for others for sure, unpleasant for yourself also. Today, medical science proves to you, when you're angry, you're actually poisoning your system. You know, we have always known this, but today chemical tests clearly show you that you're actually poisoning your system, generating poison in the system by being angry. So, why would you want to poison yourself? It is not a conscious act. You're poisoning yourself, you're causing unpleasantness to yourself only because your mind is not taking instructions from you, isn't it? It is not taking instructions from you. If it was taking instructions from you, you would have said blissfulness, isn't it? You wouldn't say anger. But now when you want to be peaceful, it is getting angry because it is not taking instructions from you. So if your mind is not taking instructions from you, you have to pay a little more attention to it. Why is it not taking instructions from you? If you understand this, you don't have to avoid anger, because anger is not sitting there and getting at you. You are becoming angry, you are becoming unhappy, you are becoming miserable. These things are happening to you essentially because you have not done anything to take your faculties under your control. It is happening accidentally, just by chance. If outside situations are good, you are also good. If outside situations are bad, you're also bad. That is not how human life should be. Human life should be like this. If I am good, everything around me becomes good. This should be the reality, isn't it? Right now, if things around me are whichever way, I will become that way. No. Human consciousness should create situations. Right now, situations are creating human consciousness. That's not the right way to shape human life.
Many times in my daily life, fear stops me from doing small things and bigger things. Fear from failure, fear from maybe from rejection sometimes. How to overcome this fear?
You cannot overcome something which does not exist. Right now, are you in fear? Right now. That I may say something damaging. Is it the fear? Every moment of your life you're in fear? No. So, when you're not in fear, just stay like that. Because to create fear, you have to use excessive imagination. To not be in fear, you don't have to do anything. Fear is happening because of excessive imagination, things that have not happened, you're creating. What may happen in your mind happens in 1,000 different formats, and most probably it never happens. The things that you feared, take 100 things that you have feared, probably 99 of them never happened, isn't it? Yes. So your fear is always about that which does not exist. You cannot fight or you cannot overcome that which does not exist. We can overcome something that exists. You cannot overcome that which does not exist. You just have to give up that effort. Enjoy the fear. After all, it's your making. You like horror movies. Yes, you're saying no, but you're producing them. It's just they're not making money, that's all. Fear means you're producing horror movies in your mind. Nobody else is willing to watch. That's bad for the producer. But you're producing them. So, you produce something else. Produce a comedy, a love story, suspense, thriller. Try and see today. Just sit down, produce a love story, a suspense thriller, a comedy. 5 minutes movies you make in your mind. Really. Start using your mind differently. It's just gotten into your pattern. Just gotten into your pattern of just creating horror movies all the time. You have watched enough horror movies, they're boring. Create something else. Even it's not that if you produce these movies, those things will happen in your life. Still they may not happen, at least you enjoy the movie. In reality it may not happen, so what? At least you enjoy what's happening in your mind, if you cannot enjoy what's happening in the world, isn't it? That much privilege every human being deserves, isn't it so? Even if the world is not kind to him, at least his own mind should be kind to him, should produce some nice movies.
Don't identify any thought as negative because it's just a thought. Who told you it's negative? It's just a thought. You're making it up, maybe you like it. What's the problem? If you understand it's just a thought, it has no power. If you think it's a reality, then it destroys you. It's just a thought, isn't it? Is it true that you made up the thought? No? You're having doubts about it because you are not thinking, you have a mental diarrhea happening. Yes, it's simply happening. The word thinking means you are exercising your thought process consciously, isn't it? Yes? Thinking means you are doing something consciously. Right now this is in a state of mental